In September 2013, I went to North Vietnam by motorbike for 15 days, camera at the end. I left from Hanoi to go to Bac Sơn, Ba Bê, Dom Van, Ha Giang, Sapa and Mù Cang Chải. 15 days to visit more than 40 villages of minorities and to travel 2,190 kilometers. I was invited into many houses to eat with local people. Children, old people and landscape, all were amazing. From the sunrise to sunset, I was taking photos all day long, unless I was driving. I went to the famous market of Dom Van, where I took more than 1,000 photos in a couple of hours. I met Black Lolo, Hmong, Thai, Nung ethnic minorities. All of them have their own culture, their own colors. It's the paradise for a photographer. At the end of the trip, I came back with a treasure of more than 5,600 photos.
Hello there and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam. In the previous clip, we just saw the reminiscing of a certain trip to the northern region of Vietnam. Now, this reminiscence, this recall, was by our very guest today. His name is Rehahn Croquevielle, and he's here on our show today. He's a self-taught photographer hailing from Normandy of France. And the 5,600 photos from that very one trip is only a slice in the very humongous treasure and collection of over 40,000 photos that Rehahn has taken in Vietnam in the past 7 years of traveling and also photographing Vietnam. All of these photos provide a wonderful perspective and a new look into the lives and the people of Vietnam. And we're very lucky to have Rehahn here in our show today to share more about his journey of and his passion of photography as well. So do join me in welcoming Rehahn. Thank you very much, Rehahn, for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes. Can you share with us now? I find that in your photos, you get very close to your subjects. Why is that?
I do think that if you want a nice photograph, I think you need to spend time with people. When I meet a very nice model, sometimes I sit with him or with her, and I try to get close. I try to interact, and because nobody can have a nice pose in 5 minutes, you know. Most of the time when you come and you meet people, if you ask a photo, they will do something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just travel photography. It's holiday photography.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not professional photography. When I first came to Vietnam, I tried to understand how Vietnamese people think, and I understood that the smile is very important. So I think when you smile, Vietnamese welcome you with open arms.
Yes.
And so this is the way I do for example, when I arrive in one small village by motorbike. First, I stop my motorbike and I try to sit with people if they don't run away. and I ask some question. I try to speak a little bit Vietnamese. I say that I'm French. And of course, when you start to talk with them, they say, okay, it's not a tourist. This man is living here.
Yeah.
This man try to speak Vietnamese. So
he's making an effort.
Of course, it's very different. And the people, they start to be open mind and open arms. It's about feeling, you know.
Yes.
I just come, I feel sometimes. It happens sometimes that I don't really feel, and I continue, you know.
Exactly.
I continue.
Besides the smile that is always really evident in all of your portraits, it's also the eyes. You seem to focus a lot on the eyes, don't you?
Yes. Just to answer you about the smile, I think they smile because I speak Vietnamese, but not so good. So I think they smile a lot about that. About the eyes, I used to think that eyes are the window of the soul.
Yes.
And just by the eyes, even when they hide the smile, by the eyes you can see more than just a photo. And sometimes you can see that they smile just with the eyes.
Yes.
So this is, I think, maybe the most important thing on the face of the people.
Right. If I can ask you now, if we can go back a little bit, I introduce you as a self-taught photographer. Take us through this journey of, taking up photography as a new passion.
I got my first passport in 2007, something like that. I don't come from a rich family, so I didn't have the opportunity to travel before. But in 2007, I did my first passport, and I started to travel a lot the first years. And of course, when you start a little bit about photography, you take yourself in photo in front of Taj Mahal or Machu Picchu in Peru, or nice things, or in Halong Bay. Or,
yeah, very touristy photos.
And photo only about yourself. But quickly I felt that I'm better behind the camera, that I don't like to see myself on photo, on video. I think I start to really think seriously about become I don't like professional photographer, but we can say that when I start to live in Vietnam, because I had Vietnamese all around me. And for example, when I was living in France, I used to to take my camera on Saturday and go everywhere with the camera, and I come back in the nighttime. I don't have anything good on the camera, nothing inspires me. But in Vietnam, I just go out my house and I have a lot of people around me, and this is a good inspiration for me.
Rehann's connection to Vietnam started many years ago when he was a volunteer for Enfants du Vietnam, a French organization that works to support needy children in Vietnam. In 2007, he came to the old town of Hội An in the central province of Quảng Nam to visit 2 fatherless girls whom he was sponsoring. 4 years later, he moved to Hội An, leaving behind his printing company in France. In Hội An, he now runs an ice cream bar with one of his Vietnamese friends, but still spends lots of time riding his motorbike around the country in search of unique faces to photograph. Rehann's Facebook page, which includes his best photos among 40,000 moments captured so far, has more than 100,000 fans across the world. His collection of photos about Vietnam will also be exhibited in France, Italy, Canada, and Ireland later in 2014.
Let's take a step back. Why did you decide to settle in Vietnam out of all the places that you've been in the world?
I went to more than 32 countries in the world. I went to South America, I went to New York, I went to Brazil, I went to Thailand, I went to Indonesia, many countries in Asia. But I found something in Vietnam unique. I found a good quality of life, especially in Hội An, where I live now. Vietnam gives me both things. At the same time, I have a modern life. I have a good road. I have good internet, and many things that you can find in modern countries, Western countries, I would say. And but also Vietnamese people keep something that I like. They keep the heart. They keep the peace. Every day I take my motorbike. I go out my house, and all my neighbors smile with me and talk with me and say hello. I found the freedom here and the happiness more than in France. Finally, I would say that Vietnamese people stay in your country. It's good to stay here.
Yes.
Don't try to go to France. Just go to visit. France is a nice country, and I'm happy to go back to France sometime. And I love my country, but the real life is here.
The real life is here.
I think
so. Yes, and you've immersed very well. You said you learned Vietnamese, and you're an expert on the motorbike.
And I eat on the floor.
And you travel around by motorbike. Is this kind of a popular option for you in terms of photography?
As I told you before, I'm seeking the freedom. I'm looking for the freedom all the time. So by motorbike it's good because I can go in some places that nobody can go with car, and sometimes even with motorbike I have to stop my motorbike and go walking. You know that the monk, they live in the mountain very high, and sometimes you cannot, even with the motorbike I cannot go.
You can't go.
So of course with car you cannot, and I don't want to depend on somebody waiting for me, and this is freedom, total freedom for me.
Yes, that's
it's
amazing.
The best way.
You know,
it's the best way.
Being on your own time and being able to travel to wherever you'd like and stay as long as you like,
Yeah.
that is the best. And now, talk to us a little bit about your journey around Vietnam. Obviously, you've been to many places, even more maybe than the average Vietnamese. Tell us about these journeys. What were some of the highlights of your trips?
Last year, I saw one very amazing photo from a Vietnamese photographer about the valley in Bac Sun, and so I went to Bac Sun just for this photo, and when I arrived there, I asked how to reach the top of the mountain to see the good view, and I was asking 1 hour because nobody had the answer, nobody knew. And at the end, one moment somebody said, okay, you have to go there and you have 1 hour to climb. I said, okay, with the camera bag, it's 12 kilo in the back.
12 kilo?
Our camera bag, lens and everything, computer, everything, because I used to travel with 4 or 5 lenses and the camera and my computer, of course. So I start to climb, and when I arrive on the top, I was welcomed by 2 dogs.
2 dogs?
2 dogs. I said, oh my God, highway. And one man was living there. He was 21 years old.
Wow.
He was living on the top of the mountain alone. And so he said, okay, don't afraid about the dog, come. And we talked together, and I said, I want to go on the top. He said, okay, sit down, we will eat. And I ate with him, and he prepared the rice, and even I had a nap. I slept a little bit there. And I stayed all days just waiting the perfect light for the sunset, and I stayed all day with him, and it was amazing because this man was I saw him happy to meet somebody and foreigner, and he prepared the food for me, and at the end I wanted to say, can I pay the food? He said, no, it's my pleasure.
Really?
And, well, it was amazing. It was a very touching story.
It's amazing because when people see your photos, obviously they can assume and they can kind of guess about the story that is behind that one frame or one shot. But to have you here and to tell the stories behind, the friends that you've made, the people that you've come across, and the stories that they've told you, it makes this kind of the photos come to life even more. Like people say, a photo is worth 1,000 words. Now, in the following, we're going to take a look at a short clip after 7 years of traveling here to Vietnam, and then in the past 2 years living here, Rehahn has been able to make a more concrete, solid proof of his love and passion for the country and people here in a book. It's called Vietnam, a Mosaic of Contrast. And this photo book is a compilation of his travels in Vietnam and living here as well. So let's have a look at that.
Vietnam Mosaic of Contrast was released on January the 15th this year. 8 months since its publication, more than 1,200 copies of the book have been sold in 27 countries worldwide. The 140-page book is divided into 4 chapters: childhood, elderly, lifestyle, and landscapes. It has been published in French and English. This shot, Smoking Time, is among the few privileged photos in the National Geographic magazine, marked with editor's note. Senior photo editor Sadie Quarrier was quoted as saying, "Gorgeous portrait. I love the smoke, light, and his expression. Nicely done." Smoking Time is among the 145 photos chosen for the book from Rehahnn's tens of thousands photos of Vietnam. The selection process was the most difficult part, and it took him 2 months.
I think I have a good picture inside, but sometimes I look at my computer and I say, oh, this one I think I should put inside, it's too late. So I think I can do maybe 4, 5, 6 books like that. So it's just the first one.
Different facial features and mood of Vietnamese children and elders captured by Rehahn were showcased at an exhibition entitled Visages in downtown Hanoi in May. Some of the photos can also be found in his debut book, and some have been selected from his collection that has expanded over 40,000 at that time. According to Rehahn, each of the photos he takes has a background story.
Probably I cannot do again this photo, This is a moment. This photo has a story between her and me. When I came at first, she said, no photo, no. And I saw she started to smoke, and I sat with her, and I asked her to do some smoke, to make some smoke, to have a nice photo, because with the smoke it's always nice. But she took too much, and she smiled at the same time, and she was like, like that, and it was funny.
Traveling is an indispensable part of Rehahnn's life in Vietnam. He takes time to travel throughout the country from north to south, including big cities like Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City, and of course to far-flung areas. The moments and visages he has been capturing across the country have formed a colorful mosaic of Vietnam in his words.
Now, Vietnam, a mosaic of contrast. We have it here. Why so, mosaic of contrast?
I think Vietnam is a mosaic of colors, of lights, because you will not, as a photographer, it's very important to focus on the light. The light is maybe 50% of the photo, and when you go to the south of Vietnam or to the central islands, or if you go to the north of Vietnam, you will find a different kind of light. Vietnam is a mosaic of contrast, is a mosaic of colors, mosaic of cultures, and all those cultures, colors make only one country, a single country. If you look into my book, you will see that I like especially taking photos and portraits about children and old people.
Why so?
Children, because it's very easy to have fun with them. I mean, when you come in one small village, of Hmong village, for example, of course, at first they will run away, they will run home, but after some minutes they come back. You can start to take some photo of them. And once you show them the photo, it becomes very funny moment.
Yes.
They laugh at them, and they're very happy to see their photos. And with children, they can become very natural. After 5 minutes, they start to joke, and so this is easy to have fun with them. About the old people, it's different. I like old people because I used to think that old people are wise, and I think their life is on their face.
Yes,
I mean,
a
when
library.
you see when you see their face, sometimes they have a lot of wrinkles, and each wrinkle can tell a story, I think, and you can guess if they are poor or rich, if they are old, and if they had a very hard life. When you see their hands, for example, you can guess they had a not easy life, or they were farmer or something like that. Most of the time they are poor. But something that I like, and they all smile. They all smile, even more than children sometimes.
No matter their condition.
Yeah, this is what I like in Vietnam. When sometimes I spend time 1 hour with them and they smile more than I say they are like children sometimes. And it's very nice to see that. It's very nice to see. It's unique. I really think it's unique because I went to 32 countries and I didn't meet that in another countries. So I think even they are 80 years old, they still have a part of
youth.
Inside them.
Yes.
And so this is what I like with their kind of photography.
Yes. So what is really lovely about this book, Vietnam Mosaic of Contrast, is its cover. If we just take a look here, this is what, really struck us first when we take a look at this book, this beautiful lady. Can you tell us about her?
Yeah. This lady, she is living in Hoi An. She is 76 years old.
76 years old.
Now
wow.
She's 76 now. And when I took this photo 4 or 5 years ago, it was one of my first photos. She's working on the boat in the river in Hoi An. And as a lot of tourists, I came to ask some photo of her because she's with the hat on the boat, smiling all the time.
Yes.
And I asked her a photo. I took the first photo, and she smiled, and I say her, oh, where the teeth? Why don't? In Vietnamese I say "Không có răng."
Không có răng.
Không có răng in Hanoi,
Yes.
but in Hoi An it's "Không có răng."
Yeah.
And she smiled, and she started to do like that. And I saw the hand, the very I saw she have some
a lot
cuts.
of labor.
Yeah,
labored hands.
And I said, wow, it's very nice to see the hand.
Yes.
And she hide the smile, but we see the eyes. She's still smiling. We can guess she's smiling just by the eyes. And I asked her to put the second hands like that, and just to see the two hands and to focus on this area. And of course, when the people they smile, you see more wrinkles.
Yeah.
And this photo was, well, I didn't know at this moment. 5 years ago, I didn't imagine this photo would be the cover of one book. I didn't imagine to publish a book at this moment.
Mrs. Bùi Thị Song is 70 years old and still makes a living by taking tourists on sightseeing trips in her boat along the Hoài River in Hội An. Rowing down the river in Mrs. Song's boat for a couple of hours helps rejuvenate Rehahn whenever he is stressed. And she has become one of his closest friends.
When I decided to make this cover, I came to ask her. I asked her, what is your dream? She said me, my dream is to have a new boat. And she came with me and I bought the new boat for her in Hội An.
Cái gai này với gai Mỹ, cái khách đi là sợ là họ có cho cái gai đi lên an toàn. Mình ẩu ở đây mình nuốt đứa đó.
The photo is Rehahnn's most favorite one on the National Geographic magazine, with nearly 1,000 favorites. This photo is what Rehahn calls the reason for the success of the whole book. Mrs. Song's hidden smile and the texture of her hands and face are the elements that make this photo unique.
Mrs. Bùi Thị Song, a very sweet lady, and her eyes, her hidden smile really draws us to the book, and she's become a friend, and it's very sweet of you as well.
Another story is I asked her husband what he think about that, and he said, I'm very happy and very proud because my neighbor, when I go to drink tea with my neighbor, they say, oh, you're lucky, your wife is very famous. I saw her on TV, in newspaper every day. And so
That's great.
Yeah,
she's on a cover of a book. And, and now everyone across the country and even around the world, this book has sold in 27 countries.
Yes, right.
And so her face is now representing Vietnam.
And more in France, in September, I have a very big exhibition with 5,000 people in Paris, in France. And they did the poster with her face. So in Paris, you will see her everywhere, magazine, newspaper, TV. And so she's very famous now, I think, more than me.
Now, tell us a little bit about this book. As we said, it's been published in 27 countries. A lot of people have given you feedback on it. So tell us about some of the reactions, especially people back in France, your friends, your family, your friends across the world. How do you think that they see Vietnam through this book?
I receive a lot of messages where people, they say, when I see your book, I really want to go to Vietnam. Even I can tell you one story. A group of photographers in Portugal, they wrote me. They bought my book in February, and when he received the books, another friend bought her books, and another, and probably all the group they bought my books, and they used to organize a photo tour in Laos or in Europe or something like that. And when they saw my book, they say, okay, now we change our mind. We will not organize anymore. And we want to go to Vietnam. And they say, we want to go with you. And the funny thing is, I went to Rajasthan in India. And one of this group from Portugal, she bought my book. And she said, when I post online every day on Facebook where I am, what I do, and post my new photo. It's not about my private life, but about my photographer life.
Yes.
And this girl, she said, I'm in Rajasthan too, and I want to meet you. And you know what? I met this girl. She bought my book, and I met this girl in Pushkar in Rajasthan.
Yes.
In the street.
Yeah.
She sent me a message. She said, I want to meet you. I bought your book, and I met her in India. Incredible. And she told about my book. She said, I really want to go to Vietnam. When I see that, oh my God, Vietnam looks like a paradise.
Yes.
And I had a friend from Laos and a friend from Thailand. A friend from Laos, he is Australian, he's living in Laos, but he came in the north of Vietnam just 2 months ago just to visit. And he sent me the message yesterday to say, I love your book. And he's a good photographer from Australia, but living in Laos. And another one, man from Thailand, born in Thailand, and he came to north of Vietnam just to see, because he bought my book as well, and he came. So I know already that today a lot of people bought the book and came to Vietnam or planning to come to Vietnam.
Yes.
Because of the photos, and I'm happy for that.
Let's talk a little bit about smiles again. Why is it, not only Mrs. Song, but if we take a look a little bit at the different photos, this one here, again, this hidden smile. Does this kind of just happen naturally, or is it something that you find that happens a lot amongst the people that you photograph?
90% of the time I don't ask them to do. Most of the time, or maybe you are Vietnamese, maybe you can answer better this question than me, you see.
Yes.
I think it's part of the culture, the Vietnamese culture, to hide. Maybe it's polite, a little bit shy sometimes. And for the old people, when they smile and they don't have the tear, I think maybe they think it's nicer to not show. I don't know, but it happens a lot of time. Many times, maybe I even think I can organize one exhibition only with hidden smile.
Yes.
I have maybe 100 photos like that with different people, men or women, but especially women. And like this lady, this old woman, she did that naturally when I say "Kom Karang," "Kom Kazang."
Kom Kazang, yes.
And I used to say that when I meet people and in the north, and they smile.
They just start smiling.
Yeah, they smile and they do like that. And I think it's nice. You focus on the hand and you focus on the eyes.
You focus on the hands. As you said, it shows kind of how their life has been, and also the eyes are still smiling.
But I met a lot of young people do that too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, sometimes when I meet journalists or young girls or in the restaurant or something, and sometimes I say something like that, and when I talk about them, I say, "Oh, you are very beautiful." Oh, did you do that? And so I think it's a part of the Vietnamese culture.
Yes. Now, during Rehahnn's time in the northern region, he had a chance to visit a temple called the Thai Vi Temple, and it's located in Tam Quoc of Ninh Bình province. And here, he was basically here for only one reason, and that was to meet what he calls his two favorite models who have beards. And their names are Mr. Chu Van Nhang and Mr. Chu Van Thiem. And we'll find out more about these two brothers in the following.
Today, Rehahn has come to visit two men whom he believes are the owners of the most magnificent beards in all of Ninh Bình province.
Chú về chơi ra bàn mời nước.
Ông đấy à?
Tôi đây. Ông đây.
Đúng rồi.
Đẹp nhỉ?
Đẹp không? Đẹp.
Đẹp lắm. Anh ấy tặng tôi quyển sách thì tôi dở ra thì thấy em tôi người trong cả tôi trong đẹp quá là tôi vui mừng phấn khởi vô cùng.
Đẹp không?
Anh năm nay đến 50 chưa?
35 tuổi.
Bao giờ là dâu anh dài như dâu của tôi?
Chưa. Một năm nữa.
30 năm mới dài được như thế này.
Bao nhiêu năm?
30 năm.
Bao nhiêu năm?
30 năm.
Hơn 30 năm rồi. Chứ cái giải là đất hết.
Anh ấy là những người chụp ảnh là nghệ thuật tôi thấy là giỏi đấy. Tìm được rất nhiều những cái bức ảnh của trẻ con, của người già, nó rất là mang tính là trẻ con thì nó mang rất tính là non nớt, một người già thì nó mang rất là cái bản sắc cổ kính, những người hút thuốc lào rồi răng sất. Anh ấy tìm những cái cảnh tôi thấy cảm nhận thấy đúng là cao cấp về nhiếp ảnh nghệ thuật.
One year after first meeting them, Rehahn finally got a chance to bring the two brothers together for a photo shoot.
Tuyệt vời. Tuyệt vời.
I think I'm lucky because probably this kind of photo are unique. It doesn't mean about the photo, but about the moment. The moment is unique, and they were happy and patient with me. So no, happy. One moment I see the brother brush the beard of his brother, so I say, "Oh, it's very sweet." They are brother, and the other one take care about his beard. And wow, this photo is one of my favorite. It's maybe not the nicest one, but for me, it's a memorable moment.
Tuyệt vời.
Within hours of being uploaded to the National Geographic website, the photo of the two brothers shot to the top 12 among thousands of submissions on that day.
As wonderful, wonderful men, I mean, with amazing beards, as we can see here, beautiful models. Tell us about, how you first came to meet these two brothers.
The funny thing is, I didn't meet them both at the same time. I came to Tam Kok last year in August, and I went to the temple, Taivi temple, and I met the first one, the youngest brother, with the small,
with the shorter,
shorter beard, and I met him and I took some photos. He was very friendly and used to talk with tourists, so we talked. It was easy, and the second day, I realized that I lost the memory card.
Oh.
So I lost all my photos. So I
no.
came back again and I said, I'm very sorry, but can I take again photo of you? So I came back again for him. So and it was raining and not easy. The light was very hard and not easy to take a good photo. But he was very patient and accepted to take some more photos. So I tried to not take too much of his time. But we took some photo. And the next day, the last day of my small journey, I said, okay, I will go around again one time by motorbike just to see if I can see something else just before leaving Tam Kok. And in the main street in Tam Kok, I saw one poster with another man with a beard. I said, wow, I want to meet this man. I stopped my motorbike. I asked all around, I say, where is this man? And they say, easy, 300 meters, go straight, you will find his house. Maybe it's here, maybe not, but let's see. Okay, I took my motorbike and went and I came to his house and I say, hello, and he was here. And I say, I'm French photographer in Vietnamese. I say, I'm French photographer and take some photo. And so he was friendly, happy, and we talk. And when I see the beard so long like that, I say, wow, maybe it's the model, the best model and of my dream.
Yes.
So I took some photo. I stayed 1 hour with him. He invited me to drink tea, and at the end I show his photo, and he was happy to see himself in photo. And I say, oh, this is another man with the beard I took in the temple. And he say, I know him.
He's my brother.
It's my brother. I say, oh my God. I say, I wish to meet you both and take some photo together. I say, probably next year we come back.
Yes.
And I will bring you the photo first. And we will take some photo together.
Yes.
I say, okay.
And this was that trip. Now, going back to all of the people you met, the people that you've met in here, in this book, Vietnam, Mosaic Contrast, are just a very small part of the people you've met here in Vietnam, and you will meet in your time spending here. But what do you think is the secret in terms of kind of diving into the hearts of Vietnamese people in terms of getting closer to them?
I think the only way to get closer to them is to feel. It's only about feeling. There's no secret. There's no... As I told you before, we can talk about the smile. This is a good icebreaker.
Yes.
So of course, when you smile, the people, they will open doors. So just, I'm a people person, and especially in Vietnam, more in Vietnam.
Throughout all of the things that you've learned about living here in Vietnam and photographing and meeting with people, what would you say, what does Vietnam mean to you?
I have only one word. I would say it's my new home. It's my home now. This is I feel more at home. For example, when I came to India last month, I was happy to visit India for my second time. And but when I was in the airport, I said, "Wow, I really wish to be already in Hoi An now." And you know, when I arrive in Da Nang airport, I say, "Oh, I'm at home." And so this is, I meet my neighbor. Every small thing makes me happy. So this is my home now.
Yes. Can you share with us, what are some of your future projects?
I have a lot of projects. First, about books, I'm planning to publish 2 more books. It will be books about, one book about children, with some stories about the photos. As I told you before, sometimes people ask me the stories why people... I have one photo with 3 young girls doing like that. And of course, it's not natural. And I didn't ask them, so it's a natural moment, but it's not common in Vietnam to see 3 girls like that.
In the line,
so I will explain some stories in this book. It will be like mini books, you know, like a collection of mini books.
That's
maybe
great.
volume number 1, volume number 2 later. And at the same time, I will publish a book about old people with some words about what I think about old people in Vietnam and in the life in general. And I'm working in another project, but it will be a long project about Vietnam from the sky. It will be with a drone. I start already to take some photos in Hoi An, Hue, Da Nang with the drone. So you put your camera and you go 200 meters and you fly 200 meters. Yeah, but it's a long project because I would like to take photo in 15 cities in Vietnam, in Ha Long Bay, Mù Căng Chải, Sapa, Bac Ha, Dien Bien Phu, Hanoi, Ho Chi Minh, everywhere. So it's a very long trip only by car because you have to carry the drone and the drone cannot go in the plane. At the same time, I will organize a new exhibition. Yesterday I met some people in Hanoi, important people in Hanoi, because my wish and my dream would be to organize a big exhibition around the lake, Quang Kim Lake.
That would be wonderful.
With portraits, and I told them that it would be great to introduce Vietnam for foreigners, but also Vietnam for Vietnamese
people as well.
Because most of Vietnamese people, they don't have the chance to go to the north, to go to Mù Căng Chải, and through my photos they can discover their own country.
Yeah.
And after that, my big exhibition in Paris. So I think photography will take 90% of my time.
Exactly, very, very busy life,
Yes.
but we're all very much looking forward to your future projects. And we would like to thank you for coming here onto the show.
My pleasure.
Sharing your stories and very unique perspective of Vietnam through your wonderful, not only photos, but stories. And we hope you all the best of luck in the future.
Hẹn gặp lại.
Yes, hẹn gặp lại. Thank you. And that wraps up this edition of Talk Vietnam with Rehahn. And we hope that whether you're Vietnamese or a foreigner who hasn't come to Vietnam before, through the photos of Rehahn, you will get a very special and unique perspective on how life and the people here are, especially the smiles and the eyes. Thank you very much for joining us, and goodbye for now. See you more next time on Talk Vietnam.